Choice is our ability to make decisions when presented with two or more options. The psychology of choice explores why we subconsciously make the decisions we do, what motivates those decisions, and what needs these decisions are meant to satisfy. I don't know about you, but I get stressed when someone asks me what I want for lunch. Food delivery apps give us hundreds of restaurants willing to bring our meals right to our door. Entertainment apps give us thousands of movie titles to choose from on a Friday night. We live in an unprecedented age of options, and that can make choice difficult. Choice is the purest expression of free will. The freedom to choose allows us to shape our lives exactly how we wish, provided we have the resources to do so. But choice is difficult because it also represents sacrifice. Choosing something inherently means giving up something else, something we might want tomorrow or next week, and that won't be available to us if we don't grab it today. So, here's an easy-to-understand guide to choice. It will help you understand the roles of bias, priming, and other psychological quirks in decision-making. Not only will you be able to make better decisions yourself, but you'll also gain valuable selling and positioning tips that will make your audience more likely to choose the offering you're selling. What is choice? Let's start with the basics. What is choice exactly? In its simplest form, choice is the ability to make a decision when you have two or more possibilities. But the theories and mental models about choice go further than that. Here are two of the most common theories on choice. Choice theory is the study of how decisions get made. The term was coined in a book of the same name by William Glasser, who argued that all choices are made to satisfy five basic needs: survival, love and belonging, power, freedom, and fun. The idea humans primarily make choices that further our own interests is not a new one, and it's seconded by the rational choice theory. Rational choice theory is a framework used to model social and economic behavior. According to rational choice theory, individual actors choose whichever option will maximize their interests and provide them with the greatest utility or benefit. But Sheena Iyengar, a professor at Columbia Business School who studies choice, posited that choice extends beyond the merits of one particular option or another. In her TED Talk on the art of choosing, choice is just as much about who Americans are as it is about what the product is, Iyengar said. You have a group of people for whom every little difference matters, and so every choice matters. Underlying these three basic ways of thinking about choice is the assumption we truly understand our preferences and how to weigh them against each other. But what happens when freedom conflicts with power? How do you choose when two options will provide you with equal amounts of fun? It's all about preference. And the underbelly of preference is bias. What is bias? Another definition. Bias, according to Merriam-Webster, is either an inclination of temperament or outlook, especially a personal and sometimes unreasoned judgment. In her TED Talk, Iyengar, who is blind, recounted a trip to the nail salon where she had to choose between two light shades of pink ballet slippers and adorable. The colors were described to her as an elegant shade of pink and a glamorous shade of pink, respectively, semantic choices that hardly illustrate difference. Iyengar decided to conduct a study with the two colors, asking women to choose which shade they preferred. Half of the study participants couldn't tell the shades apart, but of the other half, more chose adorable when presented with label-less bottles. On the other hand, when the women knew the names of the polish, the majority chose ballet slippers. You'd expect that a nail polish should be judged only by its color, but something about the name ballet slippers caused women to change their preference. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is bias. Why does bias matter? Some biases are conscious. For example, I prefer dogs over cats. I think dogs are friendlier, more lovable, and less likely to scratch me. But I don't know why I prefer the color blue over the color red. I have an unconscious, also known as implicit bias. Implicit bias is everywhere, and it affects the way we act and treat other people, sometimes to alarming results. Priming and behavior in psychology. Priming is the effect that exposure to one stimulus has on our response to another stimulus. For example, if two groups of people read the word yellow followed by either banana or sky, the group that read banana will process the word more quickly than the group that read sky because of the semantic association between the fruit and its color. This unconscious form of association is a large part of how the human brain trains our memories. Priming can also occur in other circumstances beyond language recognition. Studies suggest that stereotypes, a form of implicit bias, regarding innate ability linked to gender and / or race impacts standardized test performance. A study by Claude Steele and Joshua Aronson found that African American students performed more poorly on the GRE verbal exam when they were told the test was a measurement of their intellectual abilities, a phenomenon the researchers termed stereotype threat. Further studies suggest that even the mention of identity was enough to trigger the association. Performance worsened, and women's performance improved on AP calculus tests if demographic information was filled out after the test was over. Stereotypes are so pervasive that they don't even need to be explicitly mentioned to rear their ugly heads. Merely priming students with their group identities was enough to surface societal stereotypes that unconsciously affected performance. Priming and choice, similarly, in a Dutch study, subjects watched what they were told was a high-definition program in a room with posters touting high-definition images. After the program, they reported their experience was superior to standard definition programming. You probably won't be surprised to learn that they were, in fact, watching standard definition. We're taught to prefer higher quality products and associate quality with indicators like price and modernity. The trouble with these associations is they can overrule the quality of the products we're choosing between. It's the classic signal versus noise problem. How do we separate bias from choice? Bias and choice. Bias doesn't just refer to a belief or judgment about a specific thing. That is that I like dogs better than cats. In psychology, bias also refers to behavioral tendencies that affect how we reach conclusions and ultimately make choices. Here are 4 cognitive biases that unconsciously affect how we make decisions. 1. Anchoring bias. We tend to anchor our decisions based around the first piece of information we receive. For example, if you're used to paying $10 for shampoo and see it on sale for $8, this reduced price will feel like a deal. However, your friend's local store sells the same shampoo for $12, so she will view the $10 bottle as the deal. 2. Framing effect bias. The manner in which choices are presented to us also affects how we view them. A study had participants watch a traffic accident and asked about how fast were the cars going when they contacted each other. The researchers then replaced the verb contacted with hit, bumped, collided, and smashed for different 3. In-group bias, also known as the bandwagon effect. In-group bias occurs when a person in a group acts in a similar way to other members of that group. Interestingly, the bias exists across arbitrarily created groups, such as through a coin toss, in addition to groups based around religion or sports, among other affiliations. 4. Loss aversion bias. People don't like to lose or miss out on things. Loss aversion causes us to feel more strongly about avoiding a loss than receiving a gain, and explains the endowment effect, our tendency to prefer things we already own over things we don't. 5. Ambiguity bias. This bias draws on humanity's innate aversion to risk. Let's say you have 2 music choices. You could listen to an album you've heard before and enjoyed, or one you've never listened to. While the section option could turn out to be your new favorite album, it could also be an assault on your ears. The ambiguity effect is what would make many of us choose the first, more familiar option. Why choice is so hard. 3 months ago, I packed up all my things and moved out of the city I've lived in for 23 years to work at HubSpot, a company whose existence I'd only recently discovered. Yesterday, I bought 2 kinds of cheese I'd never tried before from the grocery store. Choosing the wrong kind of a cheese is a smaller and less costly mistake than choosing the wrong job. It's also a mistake that's much easier to reverse. And yet the decision to move and change jobs felt far easier than my cheese selection. Well, that's all today. I hope you like the video and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.